Hello everyone, welcome to Josh's Boxes. My name is Josh, and today I'm out here taking a walk, and it's been a long time since I've been able to make a video, so I wanted to record a quick video while I'm out here in the park. I actually doubt it'll be very quick, but it's nice outside, and so I've got some time. I'm done with school for a little bit. The semester's over, and so I wanted to make this video for you guys. I figure a Chronicles video and a walk in the park sounds like a good combo. And so we're here to continue the Chronicles. I have no idea what episode this is, but last we left off, I had gone on my first date, but it wasn't really a first date. It was kind of lost in translation, I guess, and it was just really awkward and stuff like that. So at this point, it's the end of 10th grade, and I'm I'm 16 at this point, and all my friends, I'm not really interested in going on any dates or anything, because the first one was so awkward, and so all my friends are planning on going to prom, because the way that my school did it was rather than having junior prom or senior prom, separate proms like I know some schools do, my school just had one big prom at the end that anyone could go to, any of the students. And so all my friends, my fellow sophomores, were getting ready. They wanted to go to prom. They were asking girls and stuff, and they were like, dude, you should go with us. And I was like, no, I don't want to go to prom as a sophomore. I'll definitely go to my senior prom, but I don't want to do that. I'm not, I don't want to get rejected by girls right now. I don't like dancing a ton, and so I don't know what I would really do at a dance. And there's some ducks fighting over there. So they're like, come on, you should go. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go. And then one of the this little group of girls who was adjacent to our friend group, I was acquaintances at least with these girls. They're like, what, Josh, you're not gonna ask anyone to prom? I'm like, no, I don't want to. And they're like, well, I have so many friends who want to go, but no guys will ask them. And I'm like, sorry, this is not my problem. And they're like, Mary Sue's not going, Penny A isn't going, even, well, I need to think of a fake name now. Penelope. Even Penelope isn't going. And I'm like, I don't even know who Penelope is. And they're like, what? You don't know who Penelope is? She's yay tall, whatever. And I'm like, no, never even heard of her before. Definitely not going to ask her to prom. They're like, Josh, they were kind of frustrated, and I just couldn't be bothered. And so that's first or second period at school. And come 8th period, the end of the day, math class, freaking algebra 2 or trig, it was algebra 2, yeah. They were doing math, and then the teacher calls on someone behind me and says, hey, Penelope, and she had the answer, whatever, and I'm like, Penelope? I wonder if it's that girl that my friends were talking about. And so, after the teacher's done with the lecture, and we're, working on our little math papers, I turn around, I'm like, are you Penelope such and such? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. I was talking with our friends, Rita and Sarah today earlier, and they were saying that no one has asked you to prom yet, and they were trying to get me to ask you, and she like, poof, sits bolt upright, and she's like, I don't want to go to prom with you. I do not want to go to prom with you. And I'm like, okay, sorry, I wasn't asking you. I just thought it was funny that they like were talking about you and they were trying to get me to ask you. I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to tell you, I'm not asking you. And she relaxes. She's like, oh, phew. I'm like, what the heck? Why are you so averse? I mean, I didn't want to go, but what? Like, no, my feelings are hurt. And she's like, no, it's like, it's not you. I just don't want to go to prom with anyone. I'm like, okay, clearly. And from there, like, we just kind of talked and stuff for the rest of the class. And from there on, for like the rest of the class, she just kind of joined all of our conversations with the people that I was sitting next to that I was friends with. We became fast friends. Like, I added her on Snapchat, and we, she was gone for a day, and we, like, sent pictures of her empty chair with, like, crying faces and stuff, and, we started talking pretty often. I'd ask her about math and stuff like that, and yeah, pretty soon, like, pretty quickly, I'd say we got pretty close. She was like really funny and like very clever. Like, the jokes she came up with were like very witty, and kind of like sassy and sarcastic and stuff. And I thought she was cute, and so I started getting the feels pretty after no time. Basically, I guess just a couple weeks I started getting the feels. These ducks are going at it, man. Yeah, so I started getting the feels, and we talk over the summer, and we just get like really, really close, and like we both, like, it's pretty clear, I think, to both of us that like we both have some romantic feelings for each other, and yeah, we started talking the whole summer. I don't remember exactly at what point, but somewhere during the summer, I started doing this thing called Daily Odd Compliments, which was just something I found online. It's like this huge database of these weird compliments that you can give people, and I like sent her one, and she thought it was really funny. And so I did as the name implies, and I started sending one every single day. These daily odd compliments were like, it's just weird stuff like, you and orcas have a lot in common. Besides habitat, diet, physiology, lifespan, mating rituals, whatever, you guys are exactly the same, because you're my favorite and orcas are my favorite. Just like compliments like that, where it's like, that's nice, but also, what the heck? Why are you comparing me to an orca? And there's a lot of them. If you want to see more of them, I'm sure you just look up Daily Odd Compliments and come up with a whole slew of them. But it's just stuff like that, that I would send, and she thought that they were funny, and so I just sent one every single day. Every single day. Oh man. And yeah, we got really close, and junior year rolls around, and she's a senior at this point. She was a year ahead of me in school, so she's a senior, and I asked her to homecoming, and she said yes. And it was a lot of fun. That was like probably my first actual date. And I don't know how good of a date I was, at least a homecoming date, because I didn't dance. Not really. I was just too like self-conscious about it, I guess, and so I didn't really do a lot of dancing. I just would like, bob my head, and we slow dance and stuff. I know how to do that, but like I don't know. So I didn't dance really, but it's fun to be with her, and our group was really great. We had really good food, and we had a lot of fun on the date where we went like through this big like straw bale maze, and we just like asked each other questions. She had like these list of questions to like get to know a person better. Like, if you could have dinner with anyone famous, alive or dead, who would it be? And stuff like that. So that was fun. We did a lot of talking, and had really good food, and it was fun. I didn't do the best at the dance, but it was fun. And as the school year rolls around, like, she made this post. She told me at some point, like, a lot of people ask me what we are, and I tell them we're our own thing or something. I don't know, because I never asked her to be my girlfriend. I never did. I just didn't know about like the culture surrounding that. I assumed it would just kind of happen, I guess. I don't know. So like I never asked to be my girlfriend, and yeah, I did a lot of weird, awkward things. And junior year was a rough year for me. I had just a really poor self-image and really low self-esteem. And so this relationship became really important because I was like, well, Penelope likes me. I hope I haven't said her name. Penelope likes me. And so that's what I can hold on to. And so like being accepted by her became really important. And so like I would text her every day. We talked a lot, but like we didn't spend a lot of time together. I would never like visit her house or come over to my house or whatever. We didn't like spend time together. We just talked a lot. And it was clear like we both, I think, really liked each other, but I don't know, I guess I just had a disconnect there. I think I was a little bit, because she said like we're our own thing, I didn't know like how to proceed, if I should try and make it official or if she wanted to avoid labels or anything like that. So in some ways, like as far as like I think the romantic feelings we shared for each other, it was definitely boyfriend and girlfriend level, but we never made it official, and we didn't spend a lot of time with each other. And so it was like a weird, super extended, romantically involved situationship, I guess. And yeah, and I just spent like a lot of time feeling insecure about this relationship, like feeling like I had to show up and be at 100% all the time for Penelope, because so much of my self-worth was tied to my relationship with her. Not very healthy. And we went on another date like late in October maybe, another group date with a bunch of my buddies where we like went to the store and we got like random items for each other and had to make food out of it. That was fun. And then her birthday came around in December, and she invited me to her birthday party, but all the rest of her friends were the year above me, and they were all like this close-knit friend group, and I didn't know any of them. And I'm super insecure and introverted, and so I was just weird the whole time. I was so weird. Like I didn't like really sit with anyone. I kind of like sat off to the side and didn't really engage a lot until like the end. Like at the end, I think I'd warmed up, but for most of it, I was just weird. I was just being so awkward. Like, it's so painful to think about. Like, just everyone's like close, and I like purposefully sit like 5 feet away from the nearest person. It's just it's so cringy. Yeah, and then my birthday rolls around in January, just a month later, and she sends me this playlist that she made, Josh's birthday mix, and it had a lot of it had like James Arthur, Say You Won't Let Go, and it had a little bit of Hosier and a ton of Ed Sheeran. A ton. The playlist had, I don't know, ballpark 20 songs. Okay, sorry, I cut really fast because there's a little kid driving a motorized car nearby that was really loud. Yeah, it had like maybe 20-ish songs, and probably 15 of them were Ed Sheeran, and she loved Ed Sheeran. And Ed Sheeran has a lot of romantic music, but I didn't love Ed Sheeran. So it's not bad, but it's not really the music that speaks to me. So I listened to this playlist a lot because it's like, oh, she made it for me for my birthday, and it's all these romantic songs. But my friends, I think, kind of gave me crap for it because I was always listening to these Ed Sheeran songs that I thought were okay. Like, even I was like, man, I wish there was a little less Ed Sheeran on here. But it was a nice gesture, really thoughtful, and so I listened to it a lot. Yeah, and then after my birthday, things kind of started to change a little bit. Later in, oh man, there's a little kid, he got hurt, buddy. So in late January, she asked me to the Sweethearts dance, Girls' Choice. And one second, I'll go the other way, so we're not next to the kid who's got hurt. Yeah, so because it's her choice, obviously the group she picks is with all of her friends and their dates. And because I was weird and had low self-esteem and stuff, I was so nervous because I wanted to show up and be fully present and dance and not be awkward and stuff, but I was super afraid of these people. And so yeah, we go to the Sweethearts dance together, and the day date we did mini golf, and that was fun, and I think got a little treat or something like that. And then they wanted to get ready, and so they spent the entire afternoon getting ready together, her and all the other girls in the group. I just hung out. And she picked me up an hour later than she said she would. Because so it's 6 p.m. or something by the time that she finally, it was actually her friend that picked me up, her friend and her friend's date, and then me and her in the same car, kind of carpooled with her friend driving. And so they picked me up an hour later than when they said they would, because it just took so long to get ready. Man, kids having a hard time. And so I was really nervous, did I get stood up for this dance when I had just gone on a date with her? What the heck? But yeah, it was fun, and I really, really tried. I was sharing my music and trying to sing along, and like having, like, I was trying to have banter with her friends, and it's hard to look back and know like whether I was being fun and charismatic or stupid and annoying. It's hard to tell those kind of things, for me at least. I'm sure a lot of people struggle with that. Yeah, but it's fun, and I like really tried to be all in, and after that, something about it, like the dynamics just seemed to shift. It didn't like seem as engaged in our like text conversations, and like I started like walking, like at the start of the year after my birthday, we started my last class. This is really hard to explain. We would just like walk to the last class together. She would go to her car and go home because she had like work release, and I would head to my last class. We'd walk together. So there was, I guess, sometime we would spend time together. And I remember talking about like Believer by Imagine Dragons had just come out, and I was super hyped because like it was so cool before it got super overplayed on the radio and stuff. So I remember talking about that. But yeah, something changed. She would like respond at the end of the day and wasn't really engaged in the conversations, and it just seemed like she was kind of withdrawn a lot. And so I started to like really panic, and I'm like, oh man, like I want prom to be really special. It's gonna be her senior prom, and like it's a moment that kind of connects us. So I was like trying to plot all these special ways of how I was gonna ask her to prom, and Valentine's Day rolls around, and I try and give her an extra special Valentine's Day where I like made her a playlist of all of my favorite kind of romantic songs, and I was gonna make her this video, like these Crush Chronicles videos. I was gonna show her the whole story up to this point because it was important to me. So like the Crush Chronicles kind of wasn't born at this stage in my life, where I wanted to just start telling people these stories. So I like started working on that, and I bought her a cake pop and was gonna bring it to her house. Well, I did. I brought it to her house, and she was like, wow, thanks, that was really great. Oh, she did say like, oh man, I completely forgot it was Valentine's Day, even though she's like one that's like on top of everything. Like she literally sent me happy birthday text at like exactly 12 on my birthday, So it was weird that she forgot it was Valentine's Day. And I think at this point she had just kind of emotionally withdrawn from the relationship and was staying just because she felt bad. But she was like, wow, thanks, like this is great, that was a special Valentine's Day, whatever. And I'm like, yes, okay, maybe there's a chance that I saved this. No. No, alas. I thought, it worked out so well at the beginning. I was like, man, getting this girl, like we connected really easily, and I feel like this relationship has been like a walk in the park. But yeah, we hit this rough patch, and I was like panicking, and I thought I kind of like tried to save it. The direction had changed, but a week later, she sends me a text on the anniversary of my first D&D game, February 22nd. Sends me this text. It's like, Josh, we need to talk, and she dumps me. Basically, she's like, I need space. We should see other people. I still really care about you, but I have things I have to figure out, or something like that. So I never got like a clear answer of what exactly led her to want to kind of end the relationship, whatever the relationship was. And that bothered me for a long time. Really, really bothered. Like, I just like ripped myself apart because I didn't know, So like, I just over-examined everything, and my mental health took a big it just tanked. I was miserable. I mean, looking back on it, I fit the clinical definition, like the DSM-5 criteria for a major depressive disorder. I like didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't have any energy. I was just really sad all the time because I had attached so much of my self-worth to this relationship. And so, yeah, I was depressed for a long time after this. But there's a happy ending. Because I was depressed all the time, I started just like writing about how sad I was, and I shared it with the teacher for an assignment, my Spanish teacher. I just translated it into Spanish for this assignment. We had to write a story, so I just wrote a sad story and translated it into Spanish. She was like, "You're really good at writing." And instead of referring me to the counselor like he probably should have, which I'm grateful he didn't though, because I would have been pissed. I was like, "Oh, thanks," and he just complimented my story, and I was like, maybe there's something to this. And so I started writing stories and sharing them with people, and people really liked them and said positive things, and it was something that like really built my connection with people and my self-esteem of like, I can write stories that people like. And so I like really discovered a pretty major part of myself in this time when I was suffering a lot because of this relationship had ended. And so like looking back on it, I'm really grateful for that time. Honestly, like looking back, I don't think we were super compatible. Like we liked each other, and I think we were both like funny, had similar senses of humor and stuff, but like I think our lifestyles are different. And like, not that she's like out, doing crazy wild things or anything. I think she's out there living a good life from what I know, but I think we just wanted different things out of life, and like what we would have expected out of a relationship and stuff like that. So it's good. I think that we didn't end up together long term, I guess. But yeah, it's something that I'm grateful for because it led to so much like self-discovery and kind of a passion for like mental health and stuff like that is important to me to this day as I'm seeking to be a therapist. So yeah, it's like, it's good to remember that hard times now lead to good times later, or they can, if you seek out that kind of like skills and help and like strong social support and stuff like that. I do like, there is one more part of this that I want to tell, because I was mad at her for a long time because there had been so much pain involved. So like a year, fast forward to my senior year, February 22nd, I had this plan. I made a whole playlist of like breakup songs and love sucks songs and stuff like that. And I posted it on my story, being like, hey, today's an important day for me. If you're out there, if anyone's out there like having a hard time, I hope this playlist helps. It's helped me a lot. And my plan was, I planned this for months and months. And for those months, if Penelope reached out to me, I was going to send her this song that's like, old friend, it's an Eden song. I don't remember what it's called, but it's by Eden. It's like, old friend, it's bittersweet, but how could you try and connect with me again? You ruined my life, leave me alone, basically. Which is like very dramatic. But that was my plan. I was going to send to her and I was going to be like, leave me alone. I don't want you to be in my life at all. I don't want any sort of connection with you. And it was on a Tuesday that this was going to happen. And this, like, Sunday before, just a few days before, I had a dream. And in the dream, I went to this ice cream shop and Penelope was there. And we just like started talking and we reconnected and just like had a good time chatting as friends in the parking lot of this ice cream shop. And I woke up from that dream and I'm like, oh, I'm like all that like bitterness and anger that I had just like passed. It was just gone. And so when she did reach out, because she did, I posted it and she reached out and she's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I think I've learned a lot. And we kind of connected. It wasn't anything like crazy. We didn't start talking all the time, but we had like, a pretty good discussion where we like talked about where we were and thoughts about like things that were going on in the community and stuff. And it was just like a really healing event. So that was cool. And, she said, I think the last time I talked to her was when I got engaged. She said congratulations or something like that. Nothing crazy, but it's like a positive relationship that I have now, or at least a neutral one. Neutral, aiming towards positive. I haven't talked to her in years, and that's okay. And there was just like a nice resolution to the story. So that's something I'm grateful for, and that's kind of a cool thing. But that came like a year later. The Chronicles, there's a lot of crap that happens in the middle between those things during the end of my junior year and the start of my senior year and stuff like that. So, but that's for another time. That's we're gonna go to the end of my junior year and how I actually ended up going to prom my junior year in the next Crush Chronicles. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, ciao.